Hello and welcome to Talking Live. I'm Dr. Robi Ludwig right here in Star Shop Studio, and we are talking fashion. If you notice, it feels a little springish in the air. It's getting a little lighter, and we have a veteran stylist, Kristen Robertiello, and I wanted to make sure that I said that right. And you also have a website called KR Wardrobe, a fabulous Instagram, which is inspirational. And you're going to help us to be more fashionable.
I hope so.
Figure out our fashion self-esteem and identity. And it's just really fascinating because clothes really do speak volumes about who we are.
Absolutely. It's the first thing that you see. It's like your personal advertisement, right? So you walk into a room before you even opened your mouth. It's how you look is going to be your personal statement.
Yeah.
So it's important to take time to really focus on it.
Do you think people think about that when they're getting dressed in the morning? Do you think just certain people think about it?
I'm sure that there's many people that are very focused on fashion, and there's certainly many people that are not. So my goal is to get everybody to take the time and invest. It's important to invest in yourself. So take that time to care about what you're wearing and how you look, and just realize how much it can raise your confidence.
And I think it's really nice for people to know out there, you don't have to spend a ton of money to be stylish. There's a difference between dressing well and dressing expensively.
Oh.
There are people who spend a lot of money on clothes and you could not give it to me because it's just not put together well, or I'm not into labels. I don't want to be a walking advertisement for somebody else. And some people really get their self-esteem that way.
I think as long as it makes you feel comfortable and confident and happy, that's okay. I have certain pieces that are designer and labels and I love. And I also mix in all the other designers that just resonate with me to make me feel good. And you'll find there's so many designers out there that are taking inspiration from various, runway shows, from different designers. And they're taking them down to a more affordable, wearable level.
How does one get to be a stylist? How did you get into this field?
So I was very lucky. I've always worked in fashion. I think even as a little kid, I just always had a passion for it. As I was in my late teens, early 20s, I was working on the Upper East Side, doing some styling, but also working for MTV at part-time because fashion doesn't always pay the bills.
Yeah.
And then in my 30s, I was really looking to sort of reinvent myself and find a career. I had my kids, and I was looking for something that was going to be somewhat flexible, but I really wanted to be back in the working world. And I happened upon this amazing producer who, she spotted me. And that kind of goes along with my manifestation philosophy, right? So I was looking for it. It crossed my path. I took the opportunity and I started working, doing television commercials, TV shows. Then it evolved into more and more work.
One of the things I notice, and I don't always work with a stylist, but occasionally when I work with some shows, they will have a stylist.
Right.
And what I love about it is that even I like fashion. Believe me, I could look like I'm not fashionable.
No, you always
But
look
I could have my moments where you're drawn to the same thing. And one of the things I noticed about the stylist I work with is they got me to try different colors that were good for television. So I started wearing jewel colors, and they just tried different things on me that I never even thought about that I really loved, and I would have never chosen them.
And that's really part of my mission and what I try to teach women in general all the time. So certainly jewel tones for the television pop. They always look great. There's certain things that work on the camera better than others. But in general, I think that a lot of women gravitate towards the same pieces over and over again.
Yeah.
They feel like they can't wear certain things, that it's because they're not feeling comfortable or confident in themselves. And colors like bright red, I love red, I wear red all the time. They really are a confidence boosting feeling. So when I put on a bright color, I know that I'm going to be noticed, and I have to kind of match my confidence to wear that color. But sometimes it's like fake it till you make it, right? So maybe you're not that comfortable, but take it in small little doses. Sort of maybe start out small. You're not comfortable wearing bright red, put it in a handbag. wear it in a shoe, and slowly start getting comfortable. And the more you do that, the more you're going to realize that it's fun to wear great colors.
That you could try different things.
You can try different things.
And if you make a mistake, who cares? Right?
Right.
You know,
there really are. I mean, they say there's this trend and there's that trend and what's on in style, but there really aren't any fashion like complete rules. It really, at the end of the day, to me, is how does it make you feel inside? Like if you feel good in it, then who cares if someone's saying that's not really currently in style? Because the trends are going to continually change in order to keep everybody shopping, right? It's like, okay, well, you know, we're going to take last seasons and we're going to change it now to something different, so everyone's going to keep shopping. And I love trends. I mean, I definitely follow them and I try to incorporate them into my wardrobe. But I also think not every trend is going to work on everybody.
Right.
So you kind of just figure out what works for you.
One of the things we talked about is your fashion personality. And how do you discover what your fashion personality is? Because that can guide a lot of your choices.
Right, so to kind of paint a picture of like what is a fashion personality, I go to some of the hit shows like Sex and the City or Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce, and what you'll notice is that they have these 4 characters, and they're very, very distinct characters who have individual personalities. And if you look at the way their costume designers dress them, they dress to their personality. So, for example, Sex and the City, you have Carrie, who's this artistic, like whimsical kind of author, and then her wardrobe reflects that. On the flip side, then you have her co-star Charlotte, who's very conservative, very kind of standoffish a little bit, and she's wearing very conservative clothes to match her. Same with like Abby on Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce. Same thing. She's like this working mom, and she's wearing these trendy but conservative looks. I actually was obsessed with the wardrobe in that show. Blazers with beautiful camisoles. But then you have Phoebe, who's the boho kind of like crazy girl. So to kind of define that is like who do you want to be and who do you think you are? You don't have to define yourself so strictly. In other words, like, okay, I'm a conservative person, so I'm always going to dress conservative. Right. You can kind of be a little bipolar with it, right?
Yeah, and I think that's where we should be.
I think,
a little creative, right? Because we have multiple people inside of us, and I once read, and it just sounded so on point, that sometimes our closets reflect our fantasy life. Like the ball gown that you have in your closet.
Right, where are you wearing it? Right?
Absolutely. And so you have to think about what works for your life, but it is nice to try on different aspects of who you are, who you want to be.
Absolutely. I mean, I wake up sometimes, it depends on how I'm feeling, what I'm going to go put on. But I do really recommend that people, when they're shopping, because like you said, I think there's a lot of money wasted by people who go and buy things because they are shopping for the life they want.
Yeah.
Right? So it's really important to...
Or sales.
It's a
good deal. Right. It's $5.
Right. Well, it's $5, okay, but still it's taking up room.
Right.
But I think it's really important to kind of just assess, what is my lifestyle? What do I do on a daily basis? Do I work? Am I a stay-at-home mom? What do my weekends look like? And to shop accordingly and not really listen to what other people are saying about what you should wear. Just kind of taking it from within. Taking it really from within of what makes you feel good about yourself. And then you can just, kind of clean out the clutter and figure out what you bought 5 years ago that you're not wearing.
Because we change over the years. And I was actually thinking about this because my daughter is into fashion and she's a teen, and sometimes she will borrow things of mine, but clearly how we wear them is very different. And I was thinking about, why is that? And of course I'm not going to wear a crop top because it's just, I don't want to.
If you wanted to wear it with a high-waisted jean, that's what I try to teach you.
No, I couldn't. But, but I was thinking about it. I was like, we're influenced by our life. So I've worked in professional offices. She hasn't, right? And so the people that we interact with also get incorporated into who we admire, what we choose to replicate in terms of our fashion choices.
True.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
Now, one of the issues that comes up a lot these days is midlife and dressing and people giving up on themselves or not celebrating themselves. and what the new midlife is like, and the Super Bowl just happened, and we saw Shakira and J-Lo rocking it.
I was very impressed.
I mean, that's midlife.
That is midlife
Or
now.
that's what it can be.
That's what it is now. Maybe not when our mothers were younger, although sorry, my mom does still dress trendy. But in general, like, we are definitely aging better. We have a lot of, more products available to us to help us with that, but we're also taking better care of ourselves. And we're hitting our 40s and our 50s, and we're at the best time of our life.
Yeah.
And that's my platform, is when I started my Instagram, I started really focusing on it about a year and a half ago. Prior to that, I was busy just doing all my shoots.
And tell everybody where they can find you on Instagram.
So I am at KR Wardrobe Design, and I started looking at my Instagram because I hadn't focused on it. I was busy with all my shoots and not really paying attention, and then I realized, oh wow, this is like a big thing. Like, I was definitely a little late to the party. But when I started looking through there, what I noticed, I didn't see a lot of women, or I didn't see a lot of influential people for women who are older. And part of that is because a lot of the younger people are on Instagram. I ask my friends.
That's true.
I'll say to my friends, oh, are you following me on Instagram? And they'll say, well, I'm only on there to follow my kid. And people are really missing a great resource to find inspiration and looks. But that really became my platform, and my mission is, let me try to target and really inspire and educate women who are over 40. We are still fabulous. We can still wear the trends, and we should.
Yeah.
And there's a little tweaking here and there that, that has to take place. Obviously, like you said, your daughter, she's going to borrow a piece of yours, but she's going to wear it differently than you would.
Right.
Which is totally
and
fine.
She can. Listen, I'm just flattered she wants to wear something of mine, quite
You
frankly.
say, oh,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I'm
my
like,
daughter
great.
too. I have an 18-year-old, and she'll borrow some pieces. I'm not borrowing her clothes, but she'll borrow.
But it
some
feels
of mine.
good, right?
It does. It feels great.
So what do you think is happening to women in midlife, that they're not understanding that piece, that they can celebrate themselves? Because there are many women who still do, who look great.
Right.
Who there is a new kind of agelessness that is happening now in fashion.
Absolutely. I definitely think that the industry, hopefully it's starting to shift, but there's always, from wherever, there's always this constant, I don't know how to just focus on the youth, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, you're getting older. Oh, I'm turning 50 March 7th. And I am super excited about it. I don't feel bad about it at all.
It's amazing.
Are you kidding? I felt worse when I turned 40 because I thought, but now I'm realizing that this is a great time in my life. I'm confident. I don't care what people think anymore, which is great.
So nice.
And I'm enjoying myself. My kids are a little bit older now, so now I can really spend more time focusing on myself. Yeah. But I think that the industry, it does focus on youth and kind of giving us that negativity of, oh, you're older. But we're starting to see some older models now. We're starting to see less focus, like CVS now has, they can't edit things, right? So we're not looking to be so perfect.
And there are more and more models that are going unedited,
right,
and saying, this is reality. I'm not doing that. I'm all about good lighting, but whatever. It is really true, and where we are gaining the years is really in the midlife years. So if we're missing out on celebrating ourselves during this great time, we really are missing out.
Yeah.
Because this is the time where you really, if you've taken care of yourself, you really have reached a new level of freedom that has gotten a bad rap for no reason. That's kind of my thinking.
I agree.
So given women just across the board, even men too, we don't want to ignore them, how can someone raise their fashion self-esteem, their fashion self-confidence? And I'll tell you a story quickly. I was in a store, of course, where you can find me almost every day. And
which one?
I like all of them. I'm in every store at the same time practically.
Right.
And I think I asked somebody what they thought of something I put on. And somebody said to me, if you have to ask, then you probably shouldn't get it.
I agree.
And I thought, wow.
Right.
That makes a lot of sense, because if I'm not automatically loving it, then it's probably not going to be my top choice in the end.
So that is exactly what you're saying is absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
I say that I like Mel Robbins, and she has this 5-second rule. So if anyone doesn't know what the 5-second, she wrote a book, and it says 5 seconds, your brain will start to talk you out of something. So you have 5 seconds from a thought to take action. So I believe that we inherently know what looks good on us. And I can personally tell by body language. I'll look at somebody and a talent that I'm working with or one of my clients, and I could see just the way they stand, the way they're holding themselves, but that's coming from within them, right? So people know automatically. So if you have to go ask a salesperson, you have to remember that, not that I'm against salespeople or that they all are gonna lie, but they are trying to make a sale.
Right.
And so it's really not about asking your friends. It's not about asking that salesperson. It's about how do you feel? And within those first 5 seconds, you should really be able to know. And if you have to talk yourself into something, don't buy it. And the same thing with talking yourself out of it. Like if you put something on, you're like, oh my God, I feel amazing. I look so good in this, but I don't know. I usually don't wear, orange or this. I usually don't do this. And then all of a sudden you can come up with 5 different reasons why not. Well, that's your brain. It's going to try to, talk you out of something.
I never get talked out of something. I'm always talking myself into something.
But I say, go. Yeah, but if you're not the kind of person that steps outside their comfort zone, if you're the kind of person who always is gravitating towards the same look over and over and over again, then, you might do that.
And have fun with it. It's not brain surgery. If you make a mistake,
Who
so
cares?
what? You're gonna wake up the next day
and be fine
and have another opportunity to make another choice.
I mean, look at celebrities. They're always, how many times have you seen what were they thinking and this and that. So of course, I mean, fashion it's not a science, and it should be fun. We have so many things in our lives.
But it is psychological.
It's psychological. Yeah.
It is psychological because it does impact how we feel, how others perceive us, and it can even, they did a study where people took a test wearing a physician's coat, and they actually did better because they felt smarter. Isn't that interesting?
About this? I feel like I saw this.
I think I wrote about it in my book. So I think it was written about somewhere. I wrote about it somewhere somehow.
Right, and that's totally true. And again, it's not that your friend thinks it looks great on you. It's that you think it looks great on you. It's how you feel. So if you wake up and you're having a bad day and you're thinking, I don't really feel like I look good today, then I say, okay, all the more reason to go in your closet and find something that you think looks fabulous on you, because when you put something on that looks amazing and you feel good in it, your entire day is going to follow suit with that.
And
Does that
just
make sense?
even, as a therapist, sometimes things happen from the outside in. So sometimes you have to, zhuzh yourself up in order to feel better, and you go from there. So there's a bi-directionality to feeling good based on the choices that you make. Okay, so how do you spark your fashion creativity? We talked about some of the ways to do that.
Yeah, so I would say, as I mentioned, Instagram is a great place. I mean, years ago we just had magazines and catalogs. Now the internet's chock full of information. We have all these different kind of, apps and platforms and whatever to find different looks. So I think you can definitely start there. Pinterest, looking through, just looking at things and saying, okay, what do I like about that? And maybe you're gonna like a piece of it, but you're not gonna you're gonna say, okay, I really love that look, but I can't wear that look. So then you can start and say, well, what is it about that look I like? Okay, maybe I can't wear that exact outfit, but I'm really loving the color. I'm really loving the pattern, the silhouette of it. And from there you can really spark your creativity.
Yeah, because I think we need role models out there, and Pinterest and Instagram and celebrities and other stylists, and you fashion, you do styling for magazines, you do sets, you've done set design for Bravo, Married to Medicine, and you've worked with the Housewives.
I have.
As well.
And I was just on the Housewives for styling Melissa Gorga's fashion show.
Oh my gosh, how exciting. Has it aired yet?
It did. It aired, I think, 2 weeks ago.
Okay, all right, well, I'll have to look for it. We have the quick 5 where we ask questions that people want to know about you. So what is your style philosophy?
My style philosophy is that confidence is the #1 best accessory that you can ever wear. So if you just are confident and you hold your head up high and you just rock it and own it.
I love it. What item in your closet do you wear the most?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say my Chanel belt. It has pearls on it, and it goes with everything. I added an extra little hole to it so I can wear it. You know, I can belt a dress with it, and I also wear it with jeans, so lower waisted. So that's a good thing to have, is one of those little hole punchers for the belts, because that way you can wear it multiple ways.
I love it, and you can never go wrong with Chanel. What's the last 3 items you bought?
The last 3 items I bought. Okay, so since it's my birthday on March 7th, my friends are throwing me a party. The theme is gold and black. I bought a beautiful white sequins dress because I want to stand out. I don't want to be wearing what everyone else has on.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one. What else did I buy recently? I just placed an order, and it should be at my house today. Can't wait to get it from Zara.
Oh, good.
So I ordered a really beautiful black jumpsuits. I'm a huge fan of jumpsuits because they're easy. You can accessorize them, but they're just, you don't have to think a lot.
One and done.
One and done. You just put it on. And what else did I get in that order? I'm trying to think. Oh, I think I got a really cool just white puffy sleeve blouse because I'm loving the puffy sleeve trend right now.
Oh, I love all the sleeves. I hated sleeveless.
Yeah.
I hated it. It was just not my look. Okay. What's the most expensive piece of clothing that you've ever bought?
So my stepdaughter got married, and I bought a Monique Lelaire beautiful gown. And I would normally, so for me, when I buy clothing, I typically invest my money in pieces like a belt or a beautiful handbag, and then I spend less money on my actual clothing because trends come and go.
Yeah.
But for this particular thing, I bought, this wedding, I bought this dress, and it was, I think, like $3,500 for this dress. So.
Well, at least it will be in pictures forever,
Exactly.
so that's a good thing.
Moralized.
Okay, last question. What's a style every woman should try at least once in her life?
A style everyone should try at least once in their life. Leopard. You got to do.
Yes.
Got to do leopard.
Everyone's
like that. Got to have
that.
leopard.
Yes.
That, first of all, leopard it's hot right now. It's leopard snakeskin. It's in the fall we're seeing it, continue into spring, but it never goes out of style.
Yeah.
You can always. I have a leopard jacket that's been in my closet, I would say, for 20 years. And I still wear it to this day. So that's something, like, definitely try it.
Yeah.
Some people think, ooh, I'm not. It works on everyone.
I agree, and it's always like kind of funky and fashionable. I agree. I
Absolutely.
love that. Great recommendation. Where can people find you?
So krwardrobedesign.com is my website, at krwardrobedesign on Instagram.
And we'll have links so everybody can find you. Thank you so much for joining us and help us to be more fashionable and to feel better about our fashion choices and our self-esteem. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you again next week.
Thank you.